what I'm going to do is to eliminate y in the first set of equations, and I'm going to do that by, first of all, multiplying the second equation by 3. So that would give me 15x plus 6y equals 57. And I'll write the top equation underneath it. Now you can see that I've got a 6y in one equation and a minus 6y in the other, so I'm going to add both equations together. 17x 0y, and that is equal to 51, and x then is 51 over 17, which is 3. I'm going to substitute that back into the very first equation, this one here. So 2 lots of x, 2 lots of 3, minus 6y equals minus 6. 6 minus 6y equals minus 6. If I subtract 6 from both sides, I get minus 6y equals minus 12, and y then is minus 12 divided by minus 6 is 2. So the solution is x equals 3 and y equals 2. What I'm going to do here is to multiply the second equation by 2. So that gives me 10x plus 3y equals 44. I'm going to rewrite the top equation underneath unchanged. Now you can see I've got the same number of y in both equations and the same sign. I'm going to subtract 10x take away 2x is 8x, 3y take away 3y is 0, and 44 take away 4 is 40. X is 40 over 8, and that equals 5. I'm going to substitute that back into equation 1 in this equation here. I could use the second equation as well. So 2 times 5 plus 3y equals 4. Subtract 10 from both sides. 3y equals minus 6, and y equals minus 2. So I have x equals 5 and y equals minus 2. What we need to do is to make up a pair of equations. So 5c plus 2v equals 19, and then 3c plus 7v equals £37.50. Now what I'm going to do is to get the same number of v or the same number of c. So I'm going to choose to eliminate v. I'm going to multiply this equation by 7, and I'm going to multiply this equation by 2. So that's 35c plus 14v equals 133, and 6c, multiplying the second equation by 2, 6c plus 14v equals 75. Now I have the same number of v in both equations and the same sign, so I'm going to subtract. 35 take away 6 is 29c, and 133 take away 75 is 58. So c then is 58 over 29, which is 2. And I'll substitute that 2 back into this first equation here. So, or rather, let me substitute it into this equation here. So 5 lots of c, 5 lots of 2, plus 2v equals 19. If I subtract 10 from both sides, 2v equals 9, and v then equals 4.5. Now what I should state then is that communication of the answer is important, so 1 cassette costs That's £2, and one video costs £4.50. Now let's look at this last part of the problem. How much would it cost for 4 cassettes? 4 cassettes and 3 videos, so 4C plus 3V would equal 4 times 2 plus 3 times 4.5, that's 8 plus 13.5, that's £21.50. What we have is the difference of squares here, and that gives us x minus 11, x plus 11 equals 0, so the next line is x minus 11 is 0, x plus 11 equals 0. There are the solutions. Part B, what we have here is a trinomial. What we want then is to factorise x and x. Now factors of 15, that will give us an 8. This positive means the signs in the brackets are the same, and this positive means that they are both plus. So x plus 3 equals 0, x plus 5 equals 0, x equals minus 3 and minus 5. We have here another trinomial, and so it's x and x, factors of 20, that will give us a 12, and 10 and 2. Signs are the same, and they are both negative. So x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 10 equals 0, x equals 2 and 10. Take out a common factor of 3x, and that leaves me with 3x minus 4 equals 0. So 3x equals 0, and 3x minus 4 equals 0, x equals 0, and x equals 4 over 3. We have another trinomial. So it's going to be 2x and x. Factors of 5 is going to be 5 and 1. Now if I put the 5 there, the 2 and the 5 will multiply together to give me a 10, which I don't want. So what I'm going to do then is to put the 5 in this position and the 1 in this position. Now I want a minus 3, so minus 5 and plus 1. 2x minus 5 equals 0, 2x equals 5, x equals 5 over 2, x plus 1 equals 0, and x equals minus 1. Question F. This is not in standard form, so the first thing that I'm going to do is to subtract 3 from both sides. It's now in standard form, we must have an equal 0. Factorise, nice and simple, 3 and 1, plus 3 and minus 1. X minus 1 equals 0, x equals 1 and minus 3. None of these equations are in standard form, so what I'm going to do in question G is multiply out the brackets, so that's 4x squared minus 7x, and then I'm going to subtract the 2. from both sides. Now this is quite a tricky trinomial. 4x and x, 2 and 1. This will give me an 8, and I want it to be negative, and then positive here. Excuse me. Remember, a negative sign in this position means that the brackets have different signs. So 4x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x equals minus a quarter, and x equals 2. Question H. So plus 11x minus 4. What I'm going to do is to take all of these terms across step by step. So that's 3x squared plus 11x minus 4 equals minus 2x minus 8. I'll add a 2x to both sides. So 3x squared plus 13x minus 4 equals minus 8. Add an 8 to both sides. Finally we have standard form. 3x squared plus 13x plus 4. Now to factorise this, it's going to be 3x here, x here, I'm going to have a 4 here and a 1 here. Signs are the same and they're both positive. So 3x plus 1 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0, x equals minus 1/3, x equals minus 4. And the last one, question I, well, that's x squared minus 3x plus 9, and I'm going to bring the 25 across onto the left hand side. So that's x squared minus 6x minus 16 equals 0. X and x, 8 and 2, minus and plus. So x plus 2 equals 0, x minus 8 equals 0, x equals minus 2 and 8.